Hello everybody. I want to welcome you to our Friday happy hour of stamping. I'm really excited to be here with you guys this week. I know it's beginning of a holiday weekend, so some of you may have some fun plans for this weekend. But I'm just trying to, as I'm talking to you, I'm kind of setting up my computer. So let's see here. For some reason, make sure it's showing up in the right place. There we go. All right. Perfect. Okay. I am set and I am on, and I'm going to give you a few minutes. I know this is probably a really busy weekend for a lot of you, being that it is the 4th of July weekend, the real kickoff to our summer. I have a fun project, or fun couple cards I'm going to share with you today with the Quiet Meadow stamp set. So the Quiet Meadow stamp set was something that was new in the annual catalog that came out in May, and I love the versatility of the stamp set. I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer here and show you the stamp set itself. So it has some fun, different background little images that you can use, even a couple little flowers. And then it has this large flower here and then another single flower right here. It also has some great sentiments, which are pretty neat. I just think it's a fun stamp set. Today, when I saw this, I thought more of softer pastels and more warmer kind of colors. But I wanted to spice it up a little bit, and I went more towards the bright. So I'm going to share with you some fun cards with some more brighter colors. Now this is the die set that is a bundle, it coordinates with it, and it's a little bit different than a lot of our dies. So we don't have an actual die to die cut the flower image or the bunch here, or this one. But we have these really great silhouette type images here that you can die cut out, and that's what I'm going to be using a lot of. It also has 2 little tags or labels, some butterflies, and then these could be like flower centers or leaves or things like that. So the Quiet Meadow is just a fun bundle that I hope you guys like the projects. Now, one of the things I'm going to share with you with the 3 cards that I'm going to be creating is that all 3 cards, here they are, all 3 cards are using the same basic layout. So what I mean by that is our card base and our card layers are the same. So even on the inside, all 3 cards are going to be the same with the basic layer. What's different are going to be the labels, this added designer series paper. This one has a layer here. You can't really see it that well probably on the camera, but there's a layer back here of embossed, an embossed piece of Flirty Flamingo. And then this one here also has a layer of designer series paper. All of the different labels were created with, let me see if I've got it right handy with me. I may not. Oh my gosh, here it is. Good. Were created with the Stitch So Sweetly dies, except for the one oval, and that one I used the double oval punch here. So I tried to keep my supplies to the minimum, and I tried to keep anything extra I added a little bit to the minimum. But you notice I did use different ribbons on those, because how can you resist all of the fun ribbons that we have? All right, now I'm going to get started with this one here. It's our Granny Apple Green card. Now each card, we are also going to be using our Stampin' Blends. This is our Granny Apple Green, and we're going to be using our Memento ink pad. So that is going to be the base of all of our cards, for supplies, I should say. All right, I'm going to scoot this over now. I'm going to bring my stamping pad up here real quick because I need a little something under me. Now I have added my host code right here at the top, so if there's anything that you see that I'm using that you really need to have, you can use that host code and place an order online. You can also message me and I'd be more than happy to help you. All right, so our cards are either going to be 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2, or they're going to be 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. So you can really switch your cards out either way, depending on which style that you like better. the layout of the other pieces will fit on either card. This designer series paper that I'm using is our pattern party paper. It's a hostess stack of paper. So the designer series paper is all black and white on one side, and the reverse side has color. So it goes from this misty moonlight to some bright cheery stripes and dots and all kinds of fun things. But today we're just going to be using the black and white. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal here, and I'm just going to adhere this to my card base. There we go. And I am going to set aside my two pieces right here. This is going to be for my label, and we're going to tie that on. And we're going to work with our two pieces of Whisper White here. One will be for the inside and one will be for the front. And I'm going to use this overall floral stem right here. I'm going to use my stamp pad and do it upside down. This is a bigger image, and this is a great way to make sure I don't squish in too much ink on there. So that is going to be for the inside. And now I'm going to do the front of my card. Again, just tap, tap, tap. I'm going to do one in the middle, and then I'm going to do one on each side of that. Now you can do them different heights if you'd like, or you can just spread them out. I did the middle and then went out to the sides. There we go. Put my lid over there. I'm going to move that away from me. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and color these in. I am going to use the Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blends. And we've used these before in some of my Facebook Lives or classes, but there's two different tips on it. The one with a wider bend here is our brush tip, and this end here is more of a bullet tip, and that's what we're going to be using. We're also going to start with the lighter of the two Granny Apple Greens. All of our Stampin' Blends come with two shades in a pack. So there's a lighter and a darker. So that gives you all the color you need to do some blending. Now on top of just blending with the same color, it's great if you bring in some of the other colors and add them together. So maybe you wanted a little more detail. You might bring in like the garden green, old olive, something like that, just to add a little more color. Now I'm going real quickly in here. I'm not really doing a lot of shadowing on this one. I'm just doing the stems and the leaves with the Granny Apple Green. So I'm just going through here quite quickly. Now all the cards we're going to be using Stampin' Blends, as I said, and we're going to be using the Memento Black ink pad. Keeps it simple. There we go. This one did get a little bit darker, so I'm hoping when I add some of this green on top, it'll make that pop. But I will be putting my label right on top, or my sentiment, so hopefully that's going to cover up where I went a little heavy-handed on my stamping there. All right, let me bring the inside in too. We might as well do that. Now I know it's a busy weekend, so if you are not catching me live, I hope that when you are checking back later, you'll leave comments. Let me know what you think about my cards, if you like them, if you like the colors. I'll be showing you some more cards at the end. I'm going to share with you a few cards that I made for a different class I taught this month. And it's a total different look for the stamp set. So one of the neat things I like about the stamp set is you can go either way. Bright and cheery, soft and subtle. You could even do the whole thing in just black and white. It's kind of a fun stamp set. All right, I grabbed my Wink Stella, and I am going to just add some to the flowers. Because I'm leaving them just white, I thought I wanted to give them just a little shimmer to make them pop a little bit more. Sometimes just some pretty white flowers are perfect for what you're doing. And as I said, I'm trying to keep it minimal in supplies. Now I will be, it might take me a little bit longer today to get everything posted for you. I have company here, so I snuck upstairs to do my Facebook Live. But I will be posting the basic dimensions for the cards for you. All right, now I have my basic black, and I'm going to just adhere each of these pieces that I stamped on to my basic black. There's just a little edge around it, not as big as usual. Get a little adhesive going there. Whoops, it's a little stuck. It's hard when you get the adhesive like on your finger and then you're trying to make it go, but all right. I think that'll be good. So I'm going to put this inside here. And now we'll come to the front. Let's go ahead and layer this on here. It looks like I need to trim it off just a smidge. I must have miscalculated that just a tiny bit. I'll definitely make sure you have the right dimensions when you go to cut yours. Now the project that we are making today happened to be a set of cards that I made with my team. Each month we do a make and take project, and these are the 3 cards that we made. So it was a lot of fun. And now I get to share them with you. All right, I'm using this black and white twine here. It comes from our Playful Pets trim pack. So it has the black and white, and then it also has a pack of, or a spool of red, like stitch driven. Oops, I'm gonna try and make that a little more even there. So it's a nice combo, and I always try and find projects that I can use the black and white, but also make sure that I have projects I can use with the red. And I'm going to be using that in something I'm going to share with you later in this post. So I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to bring in one of my scallop stitched rectangles. This is from that Stitch So Sweetly die. And I'm going to wipe this off a little bit with my stamp or embossing buddy there. And I'm going to bring in some Versamark, just a clear wet ink. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment right there in the middle. And then I'm going to bring over my embossing powder right here. Probably should have opened it first, especially with this dry weather. It kind of, I don't want to dry too fast. Now viewers, if you're making several cards at one time, you could stamp and then sprinkle the powder on it, and then stamp, sprinkle the powder, and get a whole stack of these. But you don't want to stamp them and then wait to put the powder on. You want the powder to go on pretty much right away after you stamp it, when it's the moistest as it's going to be. I don't know if that's a word, moisture. Okay, I am going to turn on my heat tool real quick. It's going to be a little noisy. All right, there we go. What's neat about the heat tool is it just melts that embossing powder really quickly, and it gives it that nice pretty shine. So you want to make sure that when you are heating it, that you wait until it gets the shine all over. If you don't, then you're probably going to wipe off some of that, and it won't be as, you know, shiny all over. So we want it nice and shiny. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and try and cover this one up here a little bit where it was darker in that corner. Flip this over. And now I will add some more dimensionals on the back. I think that should be plenty. All right. My dogs are out back and they must hear something or someone coming because they're all barking away. All right, so there is our first card. Quick and simple, a little bit of coloring, black and white with a granny apple green. Okay, let's go to number 2. This one here, we're going to be using our polished pink, which our polished pink is one of our new in colors. All the pieces there. We're going to use the polished pink Stampin' Blends. We have a little background image here. And our flower and our sentiment. This is some of our polished polished pink ribbon. It's our open weave. We have it in all of our in colors. Our card base again is the same, 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And then here we have our 2 pieces again, the 2 black ones and the 2 white ones. And then we have our label here from those Stitch So Sweetly dies and a piece of our designer series paper. See, this one has like a crushed curry color on the back. All right, I'm going to start with the inside one first. Grab my memento here, and I am going to just stamp one of our flowers there, and then take this background and just give a few little speckles. Maybe turn it and have a few up here in the corner too. All right, I'm going to set that aside, and now we're going to go ahead and do our front piece. Now on our card, the bottom part is going to be, it's going to have the gingham extra piece. So we don't need to do the whole thing. We don't need to come all the way down to the bottom. And now I will just kind of fill in with just a few of these little speckles. And again, the ones that are along the bottom there are going to get covered up. That's okay. Now this time we're going to be using both colors. So I'm going to start out with the lighter of the polished pink. And I'm going to color in each of the flowers. And I'm going pretty quickly because it is a larger area. I probably could use the brush tip, but for some reason I really seem to stick with the bullet tip whenever I'm doing any coloring in, unless it's a really big area. One of the things I do use the brush tip for a lot of times is I will color ribbon. So if you're making a project and that project does not have ribbon to match, which we have a lot of different colors of ribbon, but if you don't have that color, you can color in your ribbon. Now to save a little time, I'm going to check and see about how far that goes. So I know I only have to do this top section here. I don't need to do this whole flower. 1, saving a little time, and 2, I don't want to waste my Stampin' Blend. I'm going to make sure they last as long as they can last. I think coloring in images is a lot of fun. It's a great thing if you are going away for a couple days, or I don't know if you can do it in the car, but when I take trips, I always like to have a little something to do. Sometimes you get back to the hotel, or when I'm camping, I'm at the beach. It's just nice to have a little something that I can do. So you stamp up a whole bunch of designs, and then you can take it with you and work on them while you're gone without having to bring a lot of stuff. You can just stamp, and then when you get home, you can put them all together. All right. So starting yesterday, Stampin' Up! Has a special going on. And the designer series paper that I'm using today is not included because it is a hostess only paper. So you can get that paper if you host a workshop for $180. And it has 48 sheets, so it's a big pack. It's 12 by 12. Lots and lots of colors. Okay, I'm skipping ahead a second. I'm going to show you, I'm just now coming in on top of where these already shadowed lines that were already in the stamp. I'm just adding this, so that's all I'm doing now, just to give it a little bit of depth. Okay, so the paper sale. The paper sale goes all the way through the month, and there is a select number of different designer series papers that are 15% off. So, and it's many of the favorites that we have. But now you can see the difference in this one right here and this one here without the little extra on it. So I'm just going to add that in. And again, you can be, if you're real detailed and you want to be, you know, very particular about where you put it, you can do that. Stampin' Blends are great for whether you're a beginner or if you're the real artist that likes everything just shadowed perfectly. They're great to use for that. But also for like me, I'm trying to do this quickly and not spend so much time you guys having to watch me color. I mean, I know coloring's fun, but it's probably not what you want to do on a Friday night. Yeah, so, but it's okay. I'm getting the color in there, go all the way around. There we go. Yeah, so if you go to my website, you will see it'll have a special section, and you will see the designer series paper that is on sale, which is awesome. I should have thought to have the flyer out here with me, and I could share it with you. All right, there we go. So we have those all colored in. Now I can put those away. I don't need those. Now let's add these onto our pieces of black paper. There we go. That fits on there. I'm going to do our other one. That fits perfect on there. So let's go ahead and add this one to the inside of our card. This polished pink is really bright, bright, bright. I think the black tones it down just a little bit, but the contrast of the two colors I think is, I really like. I love the pink and black together. It's just fun. There we go. All right, now I'm going to take my polished pink ribbon, and I am going to wrap it around and then tie a bow off to the side. Now, if you have one side you like better than the other, this bow can go on either side, and your labels can be on either side, so don't feel like you have to keep it in the same spot. Sometimes when you're coloring or you're stamping, you make an oops or something, you know, maybe it just get a smudge or fingerprint, so you can always change this up. All right, let me take this larger one here, and I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of that one, and I'm going to bring it and slide it right underneath. So I have my ribbon right there on top, and then I'm going to add some dimensionals to that and add it to my card front. All right. I could have finished up the card all the way, but I like to move things and get them where they're going, so I don't have as much stuff on my table space here. All right, so there we go. We've got that one in the center, and now I am going to bring the sentiment in. All the sentiments, all the stamps, all come from the same stamp set, all of them from Quiet Meadow. All right, there we go. So now we have the sentiment on there, and now I'm going to pop this up with those dimensionals again. There we go. And then I'm going to show you a trick of something else you can do with the Stampin' Blends. So we do have in color rhinestones, but I don't have any with me, and I really wanted some rhinestones that were polished pink. So I'm going to take my darker of my darker polished pink Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to go ahead and just color them. I'm doing it right here on, whoops, right on the plastic they come on. And I think I'm going to get one of the larger ones too. And I'm just coloring them in. So it's just a fun thing to be able to do. Again, like we don't have rhinestones or embellishments in every single color, but you are able to make your own with the Stampin' Blend. So if you pick some Stampin' Blend colors that you really like, then you will be all set to go with these. All right, let's add, maybe add one down here. I don't know, it's maybe, I guess I'll just put one back there. You can really add as many or as few as you would like. It's always just fun to color them up. So anyways, all right, so here we go. Quick and easy card, really fun. All right, let's get on the last one. It's probably one of my favorites. Here are my pieces. All right. This is Flirty Flamingo. I love this color, and I probably don't use it as much as I should. We have our two, again, our two pieces of white, our two pieces of black. Again, we have another label, and we have the punched oval. We're using two different ribbons. This one here is very, very soft. It's Flirty Flamingo with some gold flecks in it. And then here are two pieces I die cut. So here's one of the flowers, and then here's another one I did in this black polka dot. If you flip it over right here, this is another one of the colors that's on the opposite side. So very different. This right here is brand new. It's going to be in our holiday catalog that comes out in August. It's a fun little narrow 1/4 inch gingham ribbon. We're going to go ahead and use that too. All right. Now I'm going to move this aside for 1 sec because I did not emboss this ahead of time. I'm going to bring my die cut machine in here. Let me back this out a little bit. So I am going to just need, to do this, I'm going to need my base plate right here, which is my number 1. Let's see if you can see that. So I'm using the number 1. I'm going to slide that in, and then I'm using my Tasteful Textile embossing folder. This is one of our regular size ones, and so it does need to go in the larger die cut machine. I'm putting it down, and I'm putting it so the folded edge is right here at the top. And then I'm going to use my number 4 plate and slide this in. I'm just going to roll it through. I probably should have moved my camera up a little bit for this, but since we're only doing one quick thing, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it there. All right. Let's bring our pieces back in here. And here I'm going to open this up, and voila, we have this wonderful textured cardstock there, which is great. This is probably one of my favorite embossing folders. I use it so much. All right, so to start off, I am going to adhere down this piece to my front, just like that. So it's just going down, and it just gives a little bit of texture on here instead of just having the flat paper. Now on our two pieces of white, this one will be for our inside, this one will be for the front, and I am going to take this background image. It's a barn. It looks kind of like, I want to say like a dictionary or something like that. So for the inside, I'm just adding it right there on the bottom, just a little bit. It's light, dark, kind of worn out looking, and that's the look that I was going for. And then now I'm going to take this and do it up a little higher. There we go. I am going to now grab my Flirty Flamingo Stampin' Right markers, and I'm going to now use that brush tip. So I'm going to take my tip and hold the lid, and I am going to flick. This is just going to spatter the Flirty Flamingo color on here. So I'm going to bring this up, and hopefully you can see that. There's all these little spatter marks right there. All right, let's add some adhesive to this, and we will put this on the inside of our card. There we go. And And just center that right there. Now I'm going to set that aside and we're going to add this onto our black for the front. Just like that. And then we're going to add our flowers here. These are the ones that were die cut out. And I'm going to grab a couple, stick on the back, a couple of our, it's kind of long here, glue dots. Glue dots are great for these. You could also use like our fine tip glue pen, some of our multi-purpose glue, things like that. But I'm just finding a couple of the wider spots on here, and then I'm going to take that stem and just have it go up like that. I'm going to repeat that again with the one that I used with the designer series paper and add some glue dots on there. I might use my take your pick tool to pop these off. Might be a little easier for placement. So this one end is where I used for the gems, and then this end here is kind of pokey, so I can put those right where I want them. Let's get one more up there at the top. All right. I'm going to drop that one down just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to use this ribbon here along with my black and white piece that's right here. I'm going to take the black and white gingham. I'm going to pick up one more glue dot here. I'm going to show you a little trick with either tying a bow or tying a little knot. I'm going to put this right over here. And now I'm wrapping my black and white gingham ribbon around, tucking it under, and then I'm going to press right there. So now that is holding this in place. So if I was tying a bow, it'd be a lot easier to tie a bow. But what I'm going to do is take this ribbon here, and I'm going to cut right down the middle. It's very, very soft ribbon. It also, I have to say, it, because of the gold flecks in there and the cottony kind of ribbon it is, it sheds a little bit, which is okay. Kind of just a different look. And I probably have too long of a piece here, so I think I'm going to save one for another card and just use one of them. And I am going to just go back and forth, until I have this little like bundle of the ribbon, and then I'm holding it down and I'm taking that gingham and I'm just going to do a knot right on top of it again, just like that. I can come back in and pull a little bit. It looks like I have one piece that's, you know, a little, there we go, so it spreads out, but I just wanted a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of fun added onto the card. So we'll trim this off now. Give it a little bit of shake because, as I said, it kind of shreds a little bit. Not all of our ribbons are like that. This one in particular, it just, with the gold flecks and it's kind of a cottony ribbon, it just sheds a little bit more than the others. It's always fun to play with your ribbon and change it up a bit. You don't need to keep it, if it's wide and you want a narrower one, just cut it. Use it however you'd like to use it, and color them if you want to color them. All right. Just going to set that down right like that. Now we're going to be using, again, that same label. I love this label. It's just a good background when you're adding a lighter color on top. White, vanilla, something like that. It'd even be pretty if you used black and then embossed it like we did on the other card. All right, I'm going to tuck that under right there. And then let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. Bring it down just a little bit. Gently stamp. I did re-ink my memento the other day, and so it is very juicy. I'm trying to be really careful and not overly, you know, press into that, but there we go. Now I'm going to bring back my rhinestones, but I'm just going to use them clear as they are. Come on. There we go. Maybe one more up here, more towards the top. There we go. So we have those on there, and there we go. That is our third card. So these are the three that I just made today with you. I'm just kind of move stuff out of my way. Hopefully I've got them all in the picture. And I want to show you now some cards I made for a class I did this month. Each month I hold a class, and it is it's a stamp set of the month, and it is a card kit. And so with it, you receive $20 of product and 3 different design cards, and you get to make 2 of each. So here are, I'm gonna scoot these up just a little bit. I can put these others down. So here is one right here. This one, it is using our pansy. They're all using our pansy petal designer series paper, but these are just totally different looking cards. These two are very similar in the idea that we have that one stamp back there. I use some of our wood texture in Good Taste designer series paper and some of our in color vellum on that one. And then this one here shows the butterfly that's in there. But as you can see, it's all the same stamp set, but what a difference the cards are. It's so much fun to try different papers, different colors, and really change up your cards. I'll be posting all of these pictures for you so that you can come back and look at them. But let me show you what my next class is going to be. So this one's for July, and I'm just putting out my newsletter with all the information and the registration. But the stamp set is the Sweet Strawberry, and as a bundle, you can also get the punch, which is awesome, okay? As a bonus, for the first 12 people that sign up for this class, you're also going to get the Berry Blessing stamp set. This was one that was out a few months back during our celebration, and I happen to have a whole group of them, and they coordinate perfectly. So I'm going to give that as a gift with this class to the first 12 people. All right, so here are the cards that we're going to be making. So they're fun, they're bright, they're cheery. I love them, and the paper we're using is not something you can get right now. So you're going to receive a half a pack of this designer series paper in with your kit, along with everything else cut, die cut, and ready for you to go. Now I will do a video tutorial, and I will also do a PDF so that you will be able to create the cards when you're ready to create them. That's one of the fun things about the once a month stamp class, is that you get everything, and then you can put it together when you want, because there's 2 of everything. You can invite a friend over and you can each make a card. But I hope you guys liked my projects today. I'm really excited to share them with you. And I hope that some of you will be back after the 4th of July, or even just a little bit later, and are going to be able to watch this. So I'm just back. I can see some comments now. Thank you, Kathleen. I'm so glad you liked the cards. Yeah, it's a really fun stamp set that may have been overlooked a little bit in the annual catalog. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. If you pop on later and watch the replay, please leave a comment. I always like to hear from you. Thank you all so much, and have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Bye-bye.